All right, y'all, I want to have a conversation with you about something that I say really prominent in the industry right now, and not just in the coaching industry or the educational course creation industry, but across the board when it comes to AI in 2025 and what's going to happen moving forward. Now, I, of course, have been testing and playing with all of the different tools and softwares that I could possibly find. And one of the things that I have found really interesting is this balance between what do we actually pass off completely to AI and what do we actually keep for ourselves as business owners, as creatives, as content creators, as marketers. I think one of the things that I find really interesting is there's almost this over-reliance on how AI can basically replace everything that we're already doing, which, being somebody in a service-based industry, I can appreciate and understand, because the biggest thing that we have that we're trying to protect is our time. And this idea that AI being able to save time is really, really exciting. But here's the caveat, and here's what I'm seeing and actually finding, not just in my own personal experience, but also in the feedback from clients and from peers who are seeing similar trends in their niches and arenas. The biggest thing that we're seeing is that there's actually a deterrent from folks who are overly promoting on AI, and the clients who are wanting to work with them who are recognizing that they don't actually just want AI pieces. And so we're starting to see that there's less credibility and trust in what people are doing. People become more skeptical and almost more curious, or wanting to wait to better see what this person can do, or if they can just get the answer themselves from ChatGPT. Now, in the world of information, y'all are kind of royally screwed, because anybody can get information now. Anybody can get it, not just from searching on the internet and reading books, but they can ask ChatGPT to basically give them a summary and put it into something. So the real value that we're moving into in today's world isn't about how we can create information or how we can distill information. It's how we take information and put it into application. It's how we support people and being able to personalize the information, the experience, the content of what we're creating, so that they can leverage it in a way that's going to work for them. That isn't necessarily something AI can do, and it's something that requires more in-depth connection, interaction, actual human components to it. And so I think this is the piece, in my personal opinion, where AI can be really great. It can be a tool that we use, but it's a tool that we use. It's not the business that becomes who we are. And that's really, in my, again, personal opinion, I think the thing that's going to set most content creators, course creators, consultants, coaches, whatever industry you're in, apart from other folks who are almost becoming overly reliant on this idea of AI. So the second thing that I want to talk about is how to use AI in a way that's going to work for you in your business. One of the things that I have found is that there becomes this almost like passing off that ChatGPT can do it better, or passing off that this AI bot can create something better than what we can create. And though I will say there is definitely a component of strategy and effectiveness in our ability to communicate with AI, to have a back and forth conversation, to work on refining and tweaking and updating and enhancing, we don't want to just pass it off. Because the other thing that we have to keep in mind is everybody is starting to use these tools. And so it's not just about the amount of content that you're creating out there, or how quickly you're creating the content. It is becoming so much more important about the quality of it, the uniqueness of it, the actual perspective that really you bring to the table. And though you can definitely work with AI on helping you make what you're creating better, I think it's, again, also important to remember that there is that part that needs to be there of you. That if we become overly reliant on just expecting all of these outputs to be created, it's not going to give us the same result, because now we're falling into an arena where everybody's spewing information and there's not really any personalization behind it. The third thing that I want to get behind is piggybacking off of that, and it's talking about the idea of mass production. So in the world of search or of SEO, and what I study and what I do on this side of the business over here, the way that Google is shifting and changing, the way that search is shifting and changing is so interesting to observe, because we're not just focusing on how much content we can create to then outproduce every other person that exists on the internet, but instead we're looking to see, what content's actually going to be the most potent and powerful, and what content is actually going to be the most helpful. Now, from my knowledge to date, you don't get penalized for using AI to create content, but it's also important to recognize that more content isn't always the answer. It's about how are we creating quality content that really encompasses what it is we're trying to do, that really closes the gap on what it is that you're trying to inform people on, educate on, empower them on, whatever the thing is, so that they can actually get the answer in a way that makes more sense for them, that feels more personalized to them. And so that personal touch is, again, going to come in more and more importantly as we go through this really interesting season. So hopefully this is starting to give you some ideas and some insights. And for those of you who are feeling like, AI, I think it gets to be something, again, just like when social media took a hold of the internet in 2012 and Instagram got really popular in 2015 through 2018, and then all of the things with TikTok. It's going to go through a phase and a rhythm, and it's not about just overly relying and switching gears and pendulum swinging over here, but it's about how do we integrate this into what we are already doing, use it to make what we do better versus trying to become overly reliant on the thing and then jeopardizing what we've already created. So hopefully you've enjoyed my lovely little tangent here. If you are interested in more conversations about AI, obviously I do talk a lot about different tools and things that we use that have AI built into them. I'm happy to answer additional questions, happy to record extra content for you. But I think the biggest thing, again, is to really take into consideration how you're using it, and not just using it to use it because it does things faster and more, because more and faster isn't actually the answer these days. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to stick around, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit the like button if you found this helpful. If not, and I look forward to seeing you in future content. Have a great day, y'all. I'll talk to you soon.